In today's session, I will discuss to you the importance of research and the values of research to mankind, as well as characteristics of research and the qualities of a researcher. So what do we expect from you as our future researchers in the university? We will also talk about goals of research. At the same time, we will define research in one word. So what is research for you? We have experimental and non-experimental research, and these will be discussed to you specifically one semester at a time. We all start with having research topic, having an idea, and we will develop that in your research title session. Next thing is you will have literature review. Read what has existed already, what is available from the other authors, from the other researchers, articles and newspapers. Literature review will help you identify the research gap. What is research gap? That is something missing. There is an inadequate information. So with quantitative, we start with hypothesis testing. If you look at qualitative research, we formulate research questions, and then theory or hypothesis is our product or our output. So it is theory generating. But these terms will be discussed to you during your qualitative research and quantitative research. I just would like to give you an overview of what it's like to go through qualitative and quantitative research. What if your group will be having hard time picking up a title, a topic, or having hard time deciding what specific theme or problem you will propose in your research proposal? I suggest to look into Sustainable Development Goals. You will see 16 to 17 globally interlinked goals. And this is specifically designed for us to achieve a better and sustainable future. I would like you to have one word in mind, or you can write it so you don't forget it. So for example, I have had students who really had their own definitions of research. Like one particular student said, research is scary. Is research scary, or is it the mentor? Research is time consuming. So it's up to you what one word you would like to describe it with or define it with. So I hope you now have that one word that describes research or that defines research. Remember earlier I said I would like you to engage with me, but it's not mandatory, it is voluntary. These are the questions that I would like you to respond to. You can pause and answer them. You don't have to search them. If there are some questions you can't answer, it's okay, just skip it. Write it on a piece of paper and send it to me, or just type it and send it to me into my email, or you can comment it. Let's have the first question. Why do we need research? We have multiple problems, a lot of problems that we are facing every day. So why do we need research? Number one, because we always have problems in our community, in our house, in our life, in school, in our community, in our environment, wherever you go, there are always problems. And research primary function is to indicate quality. Quality in the knowledge that is being created, produced, or the new knowledge discovered. Also, quality indicator of the things innovated. Of course, you cannot have an appliance at home that doesn't say QC control pass or quality check. There is an indicator that it passed quality control. If it is a product of research, may it be an innovation, may it be from an experiment, an output from an experiment, or an output from a non-experiment research, its primary purpose is to become a quality indicator, because the new knowledge discovered will then improve policy, will then improve previous theories or previous thinking. What are the characteristics of research? There are so many characteristics of research that you can check into, but mainly I'd like you to check on these: empirical, logical, cyclical, analytical, critical, and replicability. When you say empirical, that is something that is experienced or observed. If you have not observed that nor experienced that, that is not empirical. I think logical is self-explanatory, analytical and critical, that they are all self-explanatory. So these three are self-explanatory. But cyclical and replicability. What is cyclical and what is replicability? Research is a cycle. It starts with a problem and ends with a problem. There is a new problem that future researchers can look into. So that is cyclical. It's a cycle. What is replicability? This is one characteristic of research where you can replicate a study, which means you can look at other studies' scientific questions and answer the same scientific questions. But you will have different respondents and you will conduct the study in a different setting. Therefore, it can be a study published or done outside your area. It can be a study done outside your region or outside your country. What you are not allowed to do, which is a big no-no, is to look at their scientific questions, answer the same scientific questions, have the same respondents as they have the same research setting. Why that's a big no-no? Because you're no longer replicating a study. You are already duplicating a study. And what are the characteristics of good researcher? I'd like you to be patient as a researcher. I'd like you to be patient in the process. At the same time, I'd like you to be research-oriented. I'd like you to be efficient. I'd like you to be scientific. I'd like you to be active, to be involved in your group, to be resourceful. You just can't say, I don't have any support for this. Exhaust all options before you say that. Be creative. Be honest. Do not change anything from the respondents' answers. Economical, because it does cost money. What are the goals of research? One goal is to explain phenomenon, predict, control events. We do everything through scientific method. Do you remember the first question that we have earlier? What one word you can describe or define research? Do you still have that one word in mind? So what is research then? It is formal systematic application of scientific method of study to problems. It is systematic because you follow outlines, you follow specific procedures. What is our research process? We start with identifying your problem. That's why we will have our title proposal. And then we review literature. We identify our research design. And the research design, this will be discussed in a separate session with your qualitative and quantitative research studies. After your research design, you will then collect your data. The first three, that's your proposal stage. After your data collection, you will analyze your data. Lastly, you will complete writing your paper. So if you think research is gathering data, if you think research is rearranging facts, those ideas are wrong. Because research is all about generating new knowledge. So there are two types of knowledge that we can generate. Number one, we have advancement of knowledge. That is basic research. Those research that falls under non-experimental research advances knowledge. Another new knowledge that can be created, that can be a product of research, is advancement of technology. When can we consider research as original? Because we want to make sure your research is unique. Number one, it should uncover new facts or principles. It should also suggest relationships that were not recognized before. It should challenge existing assumptions and afford new ideas. Lastly, suggest new interpretations of known facts. Earlier, I talked about sustainable development goals. These are the global goals. Thank you so much for your time. That ends my discussion.